What's up, guys? Welcome back to another In Rotation album review. My name is Garrett at Yogurt on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. Today we are reviewing the Denzel Curry TABOO or TA13OO album, and this is the third studio album released from Denzel Curry. It just came out a few days ago. This is kind of a follow-up to Imperial as well as that 13 EP, and previously, he has stated that the 13 EP would serve as kind of a bridge between Imperial as well as TABOO. And you can definitely hear the difference, but you can also hear the influence between the two previous projects and see where he's gotten to this point. It's not such a dislodged to where you can't hear the same artist. It's not like he's changed up on us, but he's definitely refined and definitely perfected his art, and as well as his delivery and execution and just everything as far as putting together a project that formulates an idea. And in this case, he actually formulated 3 parts of a project that kind of would relate to his personality. I know he said that about his whole discography, but really so in this one, the breaking up of this album, if you do not know, this album was actually released across 3 different days. He segmented into 3 different parts: the light, the beginning, gray, the middle, and dark, the end. And one released on Wednesday, one released on Thursday, and one released on Friday, completing the entire album. I mean, there's a lot of dark shit on this fucking album. Molestation, presidential election, fame, hatred, paranoia, revenge, love, the state of the current music industry, as well as his personal taste in relation to that music, and his own fucking near-death experiences he even brings up on this very album. The idea of segmenting an album, and no point when you're listening to that whole album, whether or not you listen to it in the parts as it was released or not, the fact that this thing never at one point sounds like it goes off in a different tangent, or it dislodges from a different part, or it doesn't feel segmented. And yet if someone told you, hey, these are actually released, blah, 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 these are actually released, you could probably challenge yourself without looking at it that way to hear the differences as well as the consistencies. It's very hard to put together an album, let alone split it into 3 parts, let alone not expect the people to partition to one or like favor one over the other. And then not only that, but when you have all of them finally come out, you're able to compare the 3 parts and see that they're actually telling the same story, just through different lenses, through different experiences, and through different types of anecdotes. Ones that are sometimes a lot more lighter on the scale, and then other ones that are a lot more gory, darker, as well as just more vivid and real. But no matter what, when you're listening to this is Denzel Curry doing his fucking thing. And it's Denzel Curry coming at you with the hot shit, but he's also coming at you with the hot shit with meaning, as well as just an utmost pedigree that I don't think anyone else has really touched so far. To kind of break down the track list for you guys, track number 1 is TABOO. Track number 2 is Black Balloons featuring Gold Linked and 12 Len. Track number 3 is Cash Maniac. Track number 4 is Sumo. Track number 5 is Super Saiyan Superman. Track number 6 is Switch It Up. Track number 7 is Mad I Got It. Track number 8 is Sirens featuring Billie Eilish and j.i.d. j.i.d. By the way, track number 3 was actually featuring Nigeria, or Nigeria, or Nyygeria, not the country. Sirens, track number 8 featuring Billie Eilish and j.i.d. or j.i.d. Track number 9 is Clout Cobain, which is a feature that has a brilliant music video out there that really just, I think, puts a really nice bow on the embodiment of what Denzel Curry is, as far as like if there was just like a preface or a cliff notes to, if Denzel Curry is for me, I would like to know, where do I look? I think that's a brilliant video. I think that's a great start, and I think that's really telling of what he's trying to capture, what he's trying to embody, and what he's trying to show. Track number 10 is The Blackest Balloon. Track number 11 is Perks. Track number 12 is Vengeance, featuring JPEG Mafia, as well as Zillakami, and track number 13, final track, is Black Metal Theorist. And or Theorist? No, much worse. Terrorist. Black Metal Terrorist. Even though some would say he's the Black Metal Theorist as well. Very introspective on this album. Goes into certain things, but questions them. Not only in a rhetorical way, but also in a way where he's giving you the answers, because they are straight up when it comes to the drug use in the music industry, or just the attitude of his peers in the music industry. He's basically telling you, hey, y'all glorify this shit, but you're doing it at a cost, and you're doing it at what cost? Like, he's not just saying like, hey, it's bad, don't do that, or like, you're killing these people. It's like, hey, think about that. Think about what that affects. Think about who that affects, and stop just looking at it like it's an act. Stop just looking at it like we're just cardboard cutouts of the embodiment of what we're told to be. Like, we are people, and we do have problems, and we are expressing ourselves. But did you ever think about at what cost that would happen if all you gave a fuck about was just the glorification of drugs or my depression, etc.? Like, I think Juice WRLD is a great example of someone who's really good at explaining those topics, but after a certain point, it's like, man, are you okay? And also, are you gonna be okay? Like, where does your music go from here once you get over those problems, hopefully? Or where does your music go from here once you, like, don't really identify with those problems anymore, or want to separate yourself? Like, these are things that I don't have the answers to, but I feel like Denzel Curry is so damn smart on this album that he is talking about these things, and he's not just saying, hey, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb. He's like, hey, I care about you. I care about everybody, because as individuals, as people on this earth, like, this is not our purpose. Like, it's greater than that. And I think, like, just going at that message from that perspective and coming at it from that way, like, automatically just gives you such a leg up in comparison to the way people are talking about everything going on. Like, this guy probably name drops Peep twice on this album, and everybody who does it is almost always cringy and kind of just like, okay, but you probably wrote this on Xanax, like, when you said that, so it's frustrating. Every time he brought him up, it was like, that's a slap to you, that's a slap to you, that fucking hit me. Like, fucking A, man. Like, the embodiment of what he's trying to carry is so much greater than what he's getting credit for, to be honest. He's very underrated. He always has been. Not in the sense that he's not, like, showing his true potential. It's like, no, people just don't give him the credit for the influence and just overall, like, just weight that he carries as far as musically, man. When you hear this, you hear a bunch of people, but then you think back and you're like, fuck, this guy's been in the game for about 10 years, 8 years, 6 years. Like, fuck, he's influenced all these other people. Like, he's been in the heart of the fucking hip-hop booming center of the past 3 years in Florida. And there's not really one person that you say that, like, doesn't really have a little bit of Denzel or hasn't really tried to take on something from Denzel. Like, when Wi-Fi's Funeral is getting praised as one of the best lyricists from this wave, and it's like, but Denzel shit on him all day, man. And I authentically think that. And my standout tracks right now are going to be track 8, obviously, that j.i.d feature, and Billie Eilish's fucking hook is just god level, in my opinion. I don't think there's really a better song out right now for some fucking reason. I just think that thing is just utmost ridiculous. And Vengeance, I'm a big fan of JPEG Mafia. I think he's, like, authentically the future, and Zillakami is an OG as far as influence, especially with 6ix9ine being the hottest artist right now. So that song obviously came across. Black Metal Terrorist is definitely at the top as well. And then, even though, like, Sumo's fucking phenomenal, there's no bad song on this album. It flows so well. It gets everything done in a way that, like, is completionist in nature, but it's also, like, it hits everything in a quality way. It's not just like, hey, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. It's like, no, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff in ways that aren't necessarily the authentic way, but it's also going to create something more to the conversation. And that's what he seems like he's trying to do across this whole thing, is contribute something to the conversation that isn't being said in as loud of a way and as loud of a sense. Like, he's really throwing these thoughts out there and just putting them into the world, but it's like he's intentionally planting them, knowing that they're going to grow into these full-blown thoughts, full-blown movements. And I do think that this album will be inspirational to artists to come in the many years, just as far as looking back and seeing how to talk about drugs, depression, awful shit in different ways, as well as not sounding corny, as well as also sounding fucking hype, as well as also just kind of being the man on this motherfucker, man. Like, this is my favorite album so far of this year, tenfold. I do not think that there's anything that correlates to just this much quality. There's so much quality on this damn thing. You can play it from top to bottom. You can pick any point in the fucking album, hit play, and you're gonna enjoy your fucking ride and wish that you heard the beginning if you didn't start from the top. Like, it's that fucking nutty. And Sumo, Cloud Cobain, and Perks, they all served as perfect examples of what to expect coming from this album. And just so many surprises when it was dropping with the features, and just like, goddamn, go listen to that j.i.d track, because that verse is nutty. That both verses are nutty. Like, Denzel starts that song off, I'm like, damn, j.i.d's gonna have a tough time. j.i.d's gonna not a tough time, but he's gonna have to show up. And fuck, does he show up? Fucking A, does he show up? So yeah, album of the year so far for me. But that is just my thoughts. What are your favorite tracks on this album? What did you notice? What am I missing? What is your favorite thing to happen to Denzel so far? I know that we're gonna have since this kind of blow up that he's having, it's not like he's a new guy to the game. Fuck, this guy was a freshman in 2016, 2015, and 2016. And you know, I'm not saying that 2 years is such a long time for him to blow up. Like, it's well worth the motherfucking wait. I know how many times we saw Taboo popping up on Twitter last year, like, where the fuck is it? And it's like, wait your fucking turn, wait your time, take your time, and it's well worth the fucking wait, evidently. And I'm very pleased. Apparently there's a Black Balloons Part 2 or something like that. So maybe there's 2 other features in there that we could see. That'd be a cool follow-up track to kind of throw out there. Apparently there's a Sumo remix coming, and if Danny Brown is not on that, I would be pretty disappointed. But I do think that he doesn't need to even acknowledge. He's never needed to co-sign prior to this. He's always stood on his own very fucking well and handled his own, and also just come through with the utmost just atrocity, man. He's just fucking mowing down these motherfuckers with this album, in my opinion. Like, I don't see anybody touching this, and it's so pleasing, it's so satisfactory, and I don't know, man. It's so good. It's like, I'm so happy, and not satisfactory, satisfying, but what was I gonna say? Just all those things with the tour coming up. I just feel like that this guy is going to have a great year and just carry on. This is the start of more music from this man, and I'm more than happy to accept it and listen to it and let it melt my face off, just like this album did. Yeah, so far, obviously, phenomenal album. Top album of the year for me so far. We'll see if anybody tops it. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. This is Garrett, YoGurt on Twitter, YoOGRRTT. Now in rotation. Subscribe if you'd like down below. Just really, I would like to have a conversation though about this album, because I'm very fucking pleased. Let me know if this isn't something that you liked. If this is, why not? Let's get down there and talk it out. But yeah, if you want to subscribe, we'll have more videos coming soon. New In Rotation compilation for August is dropping next week. New interviews, as well as a day with Lil Narnia. That vlog's going to be dropping in the next day, I would say. New mixes, new visual tracks. The train keeps on freighting, so I appreciate everybody that fucks with this, and I hope you have a great day. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Now in Rotation. Have a great one. That's all, folks.